What's up, Penguin Nation? Richie, Julkaiao, Anthony Romo on the far left. Pleased to be joined by the head coach here at Youngstown State on the baseball side, and head coach Dan Bertolini. Coach, it's a busy day for you, media day, as you prep for your first opening weekend. Thanks for joining us here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Excited to get going.
Now, just talk about what this team has kind of worked on in the last 3 weeks. You start practice in the month of February. It's tough to go out there and, only get 3 weeks of preparation before you begin. So just talk about what this team has worked on and, what you guys are getting ready to roll.
Well, I think, the hardest part for college baseball is the most time we need to spend with them, they spend away from us over winter break. So, it's, a lot of that is on them to make sure that they're prepared and ready to go when they come back. And our guys did a fantastic job. And most of these guys are pretty familiar with that process. But, the last 3 weeks, we had a couple weeks of individuals to kind of get guys back acclimated and kind of work on some things. And then these last 3 weeks, most of the weeks are spent inter-squadding, getting live game reps against our pitchers, our hitters getting, live game reps, our pitchers getting live game reps, kind of building those arms up so they're ready to go for this weekend and the rest of the season, and then fine-tuning some of the small stuff, really kind of figuring out our, who's going to play where and what the lineup's going to look like and those type things, and really evaluating where we're at. And that's been it's been a great process so far.
Now, you kind of alluded to some of the new faces. You lose a couple of Horizon League first-teamers from a year ago. Just talk about the transfer portal and some guys that you guys brought in this year, and a couple players that might fill the middle infield like we talked about at the first pitch breakfast.
Yeah, I mean, we're not really huge on the transfer portal. We got a couple guys in. I think we had 3 transfer portal guys with Jake Elowitz. We had Austin Earl and A.J. Clegg. So those 3 guys were from the transfer portal. And we added, Seth Lucero, junior college transfer. So, our middle's going to be different. We lose 3 guys that had played a lot of innings and had been very elite for us over the last, 3 or 4 or 5 years. So, with Braden. But I think what our program has done is, I think, and this will be a true test to see where we're at, but the development of our players. Really like not just bringing guys in, but what we do once we get them here. So, I think Braden O'Shaughnessy is going to have a really have to step up and kind of fill in with Blaze. And he had some opportunities. He's probably had the most experience of those new guys as far as, playing time. Had a good, pretty good year in some limited role last year. Trey Law is the guy that's kind of learned and developed under those with those old guys. Got a chance to play a little bit in 2020 and a little bit in 21, and I think he's ready to take that next step. And then Seth Lucero will be the other middle infielder that'll join in that group. So excited for just kind of see that. Our outfield's a bunch of old guys, so they got a lot of experience out there. But those 3 guys, that'll be the biggest test.
Yeah.
In transitioning from the new guys coming on to a guy that spent a lot of time here at Youngstown State, now former Youngstown State Penguin, Colin Floyd, we got to witness him speak at the first pitch breakfast just a few weeks ago. Just with him moving on, we saw how much that he meant to this program. Do you see any guys that have kind of stepped up into his leadership role and start to bring the guys around, or has it been a group effort to replace a guy like him?
Yeah, I mean, he's really special, and he's you don't get a lot of guys like that, once in a generational type guy. But I think our seniors have done a good job. Even though we lost a lot, we still have a lot. We have 13 seniors, so we have a lot of older guys that have been part of college baseball, and I think they've done a really nice job. I mean, John Snyder and Chad Coles are 2 guys. Lucas Nasani, those guys have been in our program for a long time, so I think they've done a good job of keeping that tradition, because that's really, what we want to do is we want to continue that and grow it and become better. But this is a really tight group of guys, so we're excited to kind of see. This was a true test. I always say it every year. This is a true test this opening weekend. And as we start to travel and guys start to find their roles, and, they have to be all in for our team. And it can't be something that's individual. So I think those guys have done a good job of that.
And coming off a year like last year where you guys set so many program records, it was one of the best individual seasons in program history. How do you as a coach kind of hit that reset button and make your guys know that this is a new year, this is a whole new game plan, and we're not sticking on last year?
Yeah, I think just because we lost so many guys from last year's team, I think this is a lot of new faces that haven't had as much opportunity to play in certain positions, and I think that's like a good energy. They're trying to prove themselves. And, we've talked to these guys since we brought them in. Like, this is about sustaining success for long periods of time. So I think it's, it's exciting to have some expectations, to have people thinking that, this is a team that can do some damage. So I think that they're hungry to prove that, even though we lost guys, this is still a good team and a good program, and we want to carry that tradition on.
Now, we talked about Colin Floyd and how exceptional the pitching staff was last year. 447 strikeouts combined, which is a program record. But this is going to be a new rotation this season. So just talk about some of the guys that might slide from the bullpen and that we might see starting. So
opening weekend, we're going to go Friday with John Snyder. Saturday will be Travis Perry, and Sunday will be Matt Broski.
Okay.
Chad Cole's the guy that's going to eventually get into that mix. He had some off-season knee surgery, so kind of put his throwing program. I think he was down for about 2 months just with rest and recovery he threw a lot of innings. He threw all last season, went and pitched in the Appalachian League last summer and pitched. So we kind of shut him down early and got him some rest, and then he had knee surgery, so he's working his way back in. I wouldn't be surprised if he finds his way into the rotation next weekend. But, I really think, these guys, John Snyder and Travis Perry have had a ton of starts for us. John obviously had a great year last year, and if it wasn't for Colin, he could have been, he would have been the talk of the league. But the guy that's, I think, the biggest surprise would be Matt. Matt has, he's been a guy that, we recruited him out of high school. He was at Strongsville and went to OU. And when he came back here, we saw some flashes. He got a win against us. His only college win right now is against Youngstown State. So he likes to remind me of that every once in a while. But and then the weird year in 2020, and then he kind of got some action, but just wasn't, for whatever reason, just wasn't as sharp as we thought he would be. And he's really bounced back and had a great offseason. He was incredible. He's been incredible in this I don't know what you want to call it, winter session, spring training, and really looking for him to have a good year for us.
Now, John's going to be at the forefront of this pitching rotation. Obviously, your guys' ace and is already getting a lot of preseason recognition as one of the Horizon League pitchers of the year. Just talk about what he's kind of worked on in the offseason and what you want to see him improve on from a year ago.
I mean, from development, we want to talk about development. From the time he got here as a freshman to now, like just the maturity. He's just really grown up a lot, and just how he takes care of himself, what he does in between his starts, how he prepares mentally and physically to pitch, and that's the biggest difference. And he's done a great job of kind of communicating that to our younger guys, because a lot of our freshmen go out there, you get hit, you don't throw a lot of strikes, and he turns around and says, hey, well, I had like a 12 ERA as a freshman. Like, this game is hard, so don't, keep grinding, keep going out there and giving it your best effort, and you can develop here. And now he's one of those guys. I think really his secondary stuff has come a long way, and his fastball command. I mean, he's got elite stuff. We've always known he's had elite stuff, but I think that next step is his command of all 3 or 4 of his pitches. That's really separated him.
Just what is your team necessarily looking to accomplish down south to start the year? I mean, it's the usual start to the year. You go down south because the weather up here obviously isn't as nice. Just what are you looking for your team to accomplish in this first part of the season for themselves that'll help build some momentum as the year goes on?
Well, we want to win. We want to win every game we get a chance to play, and I think that's probably the biggest difference between where we are now and where we were probably when I got here. We just wanted to compete. Now we want to go out. Our guys expect to win, but being realistic, today's going to be probably the first day we've got outside as a full team for a full practice this year. So, there's going to be some mistakes early. It happened to us last year at Troy where some balls drop that usually won't, as the season goes on, some communication mistakes because we haven't really been on a full field. So cleaning some of that stuff up. But I just think what we want to do is we want to take what we've been doing in practice every single day and be able to now – this is like all the studying, all the homework, all the stuff. We're prepared. I think once you get out there, and you just let them go. And these guys are doing a good job of making sure that they're prepared to go play.
And coming off a year like last year where I had said you guys had one of the best seasons in program history, coming into this year, there's obviously a little bit of hype around the program. You guys are picked to finish towards the top of the conference. Do you guys kind of embrace that as being one of those top teams, or do you still feel a little bit disrespected that these people aren't looking at you as the best team in the Horizon League coming into this season?
Well, I always throw those things out the window. Preseason, I don't think preseason pitcher of the year, preseason, they never end up for the most part becoming that. It's preseason. So, but for me, I always tell our guys we're the number 1 team in the conference, and that's the attitude and the bravado that we have to have when we go to the ballpark every day, that we own wherever we're at, and we're going to go compete. And if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to beat us. We're not going to beat ourselves.
And being a Valley guy yourself, coming from Poland, just how do you incorporate your guys to embrace that Youngstown grit that you guys obviously showed last year, and I'm sure that you're going to show this year coming forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think, obviously we have a lot of players from our area, so it's not a difficult task for them to understand. But that's part of the recruiting process when we bring our guys in here is, we want guys that are tough, that are going to compete, that are going to play, hard. And I think if you go back to probably my first press conference, like, those are the things I guarantee. You're going to get a group of guys that are going to play with, like, a ton of effort. They're going to play the game the right way. And, that's really what we've tried to instill in these guys at every, and I think 2020 helped because it got taken away from us. And so those guys, they don't take a lot of things for granted each and every day.
And when you look at this upcoming weekend and the opening weekend down in Florida, Bethune-Cookman, a program who recruits a lot of JUCO guys. And you know how good JUCO guys are coming from Mercyhurst Northeast. So what are you kind of expecting from the Wildcats, even though they haven't played in over 2 years now?
I mean, they have some good arms. I mean, we were able to see, there's limited video just because they have so many junior college guys and they haven't played in, I don't know, 550 days or something like that. So, they're going to be hungry when they come out. They haven't been on the field in so long. But they have, they have a junior college guy kind of from our area. He's went to Clark State and played, kind of in that D2 JUCO with Mercyhurst Northeast area. That's their Friday guy, can mix it up. Good breaking ball, probably be at 87, 88. They got a Sunday guy that pitched in the Appy League that, he can run it up there. He's 90. Yes, I've seen him up to 94, 95. Good breaking pitch. So, I know that they're going to play hard. They're going to be ready to go. They're going to want to, show out on opening weekend. They haven't played in a long time, so that's the kind of environments we're trying to put our guys in. So we're prepared, when we get into the conference, and that's what we've always tried to do is play good quality competition that's going to, make us better, so we're ready to go when the games, during the conference play.
Yeah, one more question before we let you go. This is going to be a sweet atmosphere this weekend. You're playing a minor league ballpark, home of the Daytona Tortugas. It's also Daytona 500 weekend, so it's going to be a crazy weekend down there down south. So just talk about the excitement from your coaching staff and your players as well.
Yeah, playing down in Florida is the reason we do it is because of the weather. You're gonna have a great opportunity. They have a turf field and a beautiful complex. So yeah, I mean that's exciting. The Daytona 500 is like a couple miles away from the ballpark. We're right on the water. Palm trees in the backdrop. I mean it doesn't get much better to start the opening weekend. But I don't care if we were playing in the parking lot. I think our guys are ready to get out there and go play against somebody else. We've tired of beating each other up. So looking forward to. I just tell them like you're ready. You're ready to go. We've done all the homework. We've researched everything we can do. Now it's just a matter of going out and playing. Yep,
Coach, we appreciate you coming on. We know you have a busy day here, media day. 2 days before Youngstown State will open up their season down south in Florida against Bethune-Cookman. We'll be on the call here on YSN. This was our first Coach's Profile brought to you by Baird Brothers.